Today we're going to be looking at GovX. GovX is it ran yesterday. We didn't really catch too much of it yesterday, but it did look pretty good. Today we've had a lot of price action through it. It's been holding usually above that 200 EMA. We saw a nice pull up here to that $2 range, back down to that 175 range, right on that 200 EMA with a healthy bounce back up. We'll probably see this drop back down at least to the VWAP, maybe back down to that 200 EMA again on open, and we'll be looking for a play. Yeah, sorry, ran Friday, not yesterday. The weekends don't count to me. I do not. I basically hibernate on weekends, so yeah, doesn't count. Siga here is looking pretty okay too. That was another runner on Friday. Well, I wouldn't really call it a runner, but it was something that popped up on Friday. It looked like it was going pretty okay here. Took a turn for the worst. It's now trading below that 200 EMA. I'm not really sure what play it, but if it can break and hold above that 200 EMA, maybe even that VWAP will potentially take some plays off that. OIIM popped up. It doesn't really have any price action. It doesn't really have much going for it, so I think we're going to stay away from that. Kind of same thing for PRCH here. CMRX, yeah, it was looking okay. Again, trailing below that 200 EMA for the most part. It has broken above right now. So if this continues a healthy uptrend, maybe we'll play it, but that MACD says it might come back down here. So it might be a while. CNCE looks like it might bounce off that 200 EMA right here. So this is another potential play. I'll put that up there with GovX because that could potentially be something we're looking at. We've got CMRX, same thing. OUST not really doing a whole lot. ETTX also not doing a lot. So GovX starting to range around that $2. We're hoping to see it come down here pretty quick. I'm going to get ready for a signal on it. GovX, I'd like to get in. We're looking at probably a $1.85 entry. We're going to aim for $2 and then a $1.80 stop. And then we'll see from there. But waiting for the VWAP. Whoops. Bounce. We'll see. We might have to get a little higher than the 185, but it shouldn't be too much higher in my opinion. I do think it's going to come down and at least hit that. We might even see it drop below and hit the 178 level, which of course will stop us out if we get in at 185. So we have to be kind of selective about where we get in on that. CNCE still struggling, not ready to take a play on this as it hasn't really bounced yet. Siga definitely took a nasty drop there. Going through, seeing if anything else kind of moved. We're not really seeing too much else, so it looks like CNCE and GovX here are probably the two possibilities. GovX being the better of the two so far, because this doesn't look like it's going to hold. We do have a couple other tickers. We've got AGRI popping up, so we can take a look at that because that was something that usually moves when it pops up on the scanner. And it is doing okay right now. We've seen a lot of price action in the last couple minutes here. It is sitting up pretty high though. So we're likely going to wait a little bit. However, we did see that VWAP with a nice sharp turn up, so this could just continue its run here. A little too high for me. I'd like to see that come back down a little bit. We did get the drop down to 178 there, so that was pretty close to our entry point. I don't have my ledger open, so that's a problem. I'm gonna have to get that open. That's not what I wanted. There we go. That's what I wanted. GovX at 210, 213, 214. We're making a killing off this. We could take profits here anywhere. Profits off the table on GovX around this 220 mark. Yeah, we're definitely really high on this one, so I can't even see it anymore. So we're definitely going to be taking some profits here. This is a very bad time for me to be trying to get the trade tracker open. Multitasking way too hard right now. Okay, we've successfully gotten that open, so that's that was our goal for right now anyway. I could have probably taken the whole trade out. I only took out 75%, but you got to do what you got to do, I guess. I had too much stuff going, couldn't really allocate too much brain power to the trade. Should have been more focused on that though, because I definitely should have just taken it all out, I think. But we'll see. maybe it was a smart move. Leaving 25% in on such a huge hike, though, that was pretty risky. So we saw a high there, what, 227, 228? Nice, nice. All right, so we might see a little bit more, but I do think this is going to go for a really big pullback here. A good thing we didn't take AGRI. It went up a little bit more, but then it started to come back down. That's some bullish pressure right there, but I do think we'll get at least down to VWAP. CNCE does look like it wants to bounce, so this is probably going to be our next trade. CNCE, we're looking to get about 475. We're going to aim for, I want to hit $5 on it at least, and then I'll just give it a 465 stop. I don't really want to give it more than, you know what, let's give 460 just to be safe. But I don't think we need more than that 460. GovX back down a little bit here. CNCE at VWAP, yep, okay. Just making sure I'm all caught up in the chat and stuff. I can get rid of this now. How do I get rid of this? There we go. Pop out. Perfect. I had things like half set up this morning. We go, oh, yeah, this is fine. Nice spike on CNCE that brings us up a little bit here. I don't think we're going to get GovX gains out of this, but we'll still make some money. AGRI, not really at a point I want to take yet, so we're just going to let this fall a little bit more before we try anything. GovX still holding, so I mean, I guess we're still doing okay on that. CNCE is approaching our target price here of $5, about 14 cents off. I have not had enough coffee yet today. 487 there, okay. AGRI falls to that VWAP line. Here's where we risk this trade. And I say risk this trade because it does look not great, but it could bounce off. So we're going to go 315. We're going to aim for 330 and just a 310 stop. So we don't want this to fall any further. If it does, we're going to cut it. If you can get in even 314, great. But we're not looking to lower that stop further. So far, looks like we've successfully taken a good trade on the AGRI, bounces back up to 318. We're up about 4 cents, 3-4 cents, depending where you got in. CNCE is just about at that target now. We're about 4 or 5 cents off. You can start taking price, or if you can start taking some profits now if you want. We may be topping out here. There's a little bit of a wall, but we might be able to push that extra 4 cents. See urged GovX all the way down now. We're probably going to be taking another play off that VWAP when the time comes. AGRI looking good, 320. We're up 6 cents now, 7 cents. 2 cents off on CNCE. That's pretty much PT. CNCE. GovX. Yeah, still looking for that coming back down to VWAP before we take a play off that. AGRI at 321. We're looking for 330 on AGRI. That's a pretty high price target. We'd be basically hitting that high again. It might not happen, but I think that we can at least hold until 325. That would be my preferable holding point, and then we could take a little bit of profit there and let the rest ride. CNCE, if you didn't take profits, it is heading back down now. GovX still holding on that 9 EMA on that 204 resistance or support right now. We'll see if that can continue to hold there. It looks like it's probably going to drop back down to that VWAP for another potential entry. AGRI did take a nasty drop down to 317, but we have a lot of bullish pressure building, so it brought it back up to that 320 mark. 322 now, 323, just about that 325 point, so we can start scaling out. Start scaling out of AGRI at 325. Wow, we hit 328. All right, so I'll say 328 then. That was a lot faster than I thought we were going to get out of that, actually. Again, you know what? We got pretty close. We hit a resistance line. That would be an optimal place just to cut the trade. I took most of it out. Didn't take it all out again. Probably should have. But we'll see. GovX is getting really close to that VWAP line. This is where we want to risk another trade on that. So we're gonna go GovX, a 195. We're gonna aim for at least 220 on that, and then probably just a 190 stop. I really don't think I want to give it a lot of room either. So we're gonna go 190 on this. So right there. We're gonna see where that takes us. Nice nice candle here. Bring us up to 206. Looks like we might come back down for a little bit more of a consolidation. CNCE above $5 now, 503. If you didn't scale out, it's looking good. You might even get a little bit more out of it. 510, exiting the full position around this level with that top band starting to close in. We have AGRI almost at price target again. We're hitting that 328 level. We might hit that 330 with that top band staying the way it is. We might even see a new high. This is a strong resistance though, so I'm not entirely convinced yet. We have a small runner left in AGRI, so hopefully that we can hit a new high here and take some good profits. GovX is doing okay. CNCE still kind of worried about that top band. We did see a random increase in volume that's very, very high comparatively. So AGRI does hit that 330. We hit 332. That is PT on it. AGRI. Getting ready to scale out the rest here. The rest of AGRI. And we take a nasty fall with that. So hopefully you scaled out before that nasty fall, but we only had a little bit in either way, so it wasn't a huge deal. Maybe a re-entry, but I do think we're probably due for... No, you know what? That VWAP is still holding really well, so I think I want to try a risky entry on AGRI again here around 318. We're going to go for 330 again, and we'll go for a 310 stop. So we want a fairly tight stop. We'll just keep the stop the same place we had it last time. Wherever you get in is probably good. 317, 316, 318, something like that. Definitely don't want too big of a stop because this can come down on us. We are far ways away from that 200 EMA, so that's a major problem for us. CNCE back down. Could potentially take another play on the VWAP here. Or I mean 200 EMA. So we'll see about that. GovX looking good so far. We're up at 204. Not near that 220 mark by any means, but you know what? We still have a lot of bullish pressure here. This one's a little bearish, but we do have buyers that are probably going to soak that up. Nasty fall on CNCE back down to that VWAP. Let's see if it holds here. If it does, we could probably take a quick entry. If not, we'll wait for that 200 and see if that holds. AGRI moving back up already, looking good. 321. Relative weakness again. Yeah, we'll have to see. AGRI 324 looking good there. CNCE with a nasty drop. I'm gonna think we're maxed out on positions right now anyway, and this is pretty iffy, but this looks like it could be a really good bounce opportunity. GovX back down to that VWAP line at 196. If you didn't get your entry before, you can get your entry now. Keeping that stop the same. We don't want too much room. AGRI to 325. Looking pretty good. I'm going to start to scale out again at 325. AGRI out at 325. We want to make sure we're securing those profits along the way, especially in today's market. CNCE continues its drop, so that was a no-go. Thank God we didn't have room for that. GovX again bouncing off that VWAP looks okay. Let's take a look at the other things we got going on. Nothing really looking too great. Looks like we were looking at the right three tickers. We have one other one popping up, so I'm going to replace it with this one. CBio. CBio's looking okay. We are at that dollar range. Not a huge fan of it, but it is looking pretty good right now, so we'll keep that one open. TNXP is another one, so let's try this one because we're not going to be playing a short. TNXP Again, TNXP is looking pretty good here. It had a nice run up. We're probably going to wait for a pullback on that. We'll have to see about that. Yeah, GovX looking okay. CNCE actually came back really hard. It did look like it was taking a nasty dip, but we ended up with a hammer candle, very bullish. Moved back up. We're seeing some selling pressure, but I'm sure we'll get past that. We have AGRI here. Not looking too bad. It was a good move taking profits at 325, but I do think we might hit that 330 mark again. GovX falling back down to VWAP, looking a little bit weaker here. I think we could start to see a fall, and we are very close to stop loss. We might stop out on this one. And that's stop out. So we took a 6-cent stop out on that. Okay. So AGRI is back up to 325. We did see 327 out of it. We might see 330. CBIOS all the way up at 1.9 now from our potential entry there at $1. So that's a huge spike actually. We could probably start to look for a play on CBIO. Probably looking for an entry around $1. You know what? I don't even want to speculate right now because I have no idea how far down the next drop is going to be. So we'll just let it be for now, and we'll reassess here in a little bit. TNXP still sitting up really high. AGRI does hit that 330 mark. That is PT. CNCE still holding on that 200 EMA, and that's kind of giving me a little bit of confidence in CNCE. So we might try a CNCE play here. Try for a 480 or 470 entry if we can. We're gonna go for, again, I'd like to hit $5, and then just give it a 460 stop loss. 460 looks relatively safe right now, so I'm kind of okay with that. If we hit it, it's not going to be a big deal either way. It's only 10 cents on a $4 stock or almost $5 stock. GovX might be a play off this 200 EMA, so that's something to keep in mind as well. In fact, this has been a really bullish stock today, so I'm going to go ahead and say that GovX is probably going to be a play off that 200 or very close to it, which is 181. So we'll say 183. We're going to go with a let's give it a $2 PT and a 178 stop loss. So that puts our stop loss right here. I don't know how I ended up with half a blue line there. Okay. GovX definitely been a bullish stock today. We have a lot of bullish pressure, so it dropping down to that 200 EMA we saw before, it had a very clear bounce off it. So I'm assuming we're going to, especially with the amount of buyers popping up right now, we've got 152 of those, 170 of them, 230 of them. So we're bound to see this start to make a recovery here. So I'm not too worried about that. And the drop went down to about $1.83. So I think that was probably within the right price range to see a bounce. We'll most likely see it start to go. Yeah, CPIO is all the way up to 113 here. Definitely a lot higher, a lot faster than I thought. We might be looking for consolidation around that dollar mark. So I think that's where, if we're going to get in, that's where I'd be looking to get in, is at $1. We have AGRI here, almost 335. I'm looking to cut the rest of it around here. I don't think I want to risk too much more on it. We're not hitting huge price targets or anything with this, but it's inconsistent, which is more valuable in my opinion. GovX still hovering around that 190. CNCE starting to move up. We actually almost saw that $5 PT already. So we can start to scale out of CNCE. CNCE around 495-ish. Yeah, 495-ish. I think we might be able to get higher than 5. We might even see that 510 or higher, but I'd like to get most of it out around this price range. CBIO, no sign of a pullback, wants to continue running. We could try a risky trade on it. We'll give it a tight stop. We'll give it a 3 cent stop. CBio, maybe 110, 115, and then let's just give it a 108 stop, I think. I'm not too keen on taking a huge amount of risk on this because it is up high. I do want to make sure that we secure some profits on it if it is going to continue running and risk that small amount. So we'll see. It's definitely one of those catch-22s where we could definitely just like kind of sit on the sidelines and watch it, and we could miss out on a lot of profit, but we're also taking a huge risk jumping in at this point because to me this looks like it could have a potential pullback down to this like $1 area, and we definitely can't afford to set a stop loss all the way down there. So we'll just have to let it be. GovX looking good. CNCE back down, so it's a good thing we scaled out most of our position there. Back down to that 475 area. Again, this is like kind of range trading. We're seeing a tighter range now, so I'm not too keen on taking a third bounce on this because we're likely to see less than $5 again. I'd like to see it break out of that first before I take another play. So we'll have to see about that. GovX still looking good. A little bit of resistance here on that VWAP line. Where would I re-enter on AGRI? I think I'd like to see a fall down to 324 area or again to VWAP at 323, something like that before I would think about a re-entry on this stock. It's been following this 200 or the VWAP line fairly consistently here. I would say it's a fairly risky breakout. I wouldn't even say it really has broken out too much here. If it breaks this high, well, you have to look at, relatively speaking, the new highs that it's making are like 1 or 2 cents each time. So if you jumped in now, your PT would have to be at 1 or 2 cents. So I would just wait for the pullback to come back down to 324. I think it's too risky to wait for a breakout play on something like this, especially with the range being so tight on these. That would be the way to go for that. CBio is hitting 109. I think this is where we're going to jump in. Got a little distracted there. I think we might have actually hit that stop loss if you got in earlier. I was looking at other things, but I'm here now. We're in at 10. Oh, I got a good fill, 108. How did that happen? Anyways, I'm not moving the stop much lower. I mean, I guess we'll go for like a 107, but I do think we're just going to stop out on this either way. At 118? Oh, crap, you're right. 108. Oh, let's just go 107 stop, not 118. And entered 108. Yeah. Yeah, that was just a whole bunch of mess right there. I was gonna have a 107 or a 108 stop, but I actually got filled at 108, so it wouldn't really make much sense. GovX a VWAP. Yeah, this is yeah, see, the GovX here is looking a little iffy to me, and I would think you're fairly right about that. We actually hit the PT though. I didn't see that. That's GovX. I think that was PT. Yeah, we wanted $2 PT there and we got it. Yeah, I would say that this is looking pretty risky to stay in on GovX. I'm gonna go ahead and exit the full position. Not a huge PT again, but you know what? I honestly didn't think we were gonna hit $2 as fast as we did. It does look like it's coming back down now, so thanks for bringing that to my attention. Otherwise, I might have held it all the way down, even though we hit PT. Our stop loss is not the $1.90 because we got in lower than that. It was $1.85 we got in. So yeah, $1.78 was the stop loss, but we might take another bounce off this. This was looking really good. CNCEs again, back up. It hasn't really hit that $5 mark. It looks like an even smaller bounce this time so far. Veru, CBio is going. We're actually making some money off CBio, which is nice. And Veru, let's take a look. Veru is looking okay. The 200 EMA and VWAP are swap places, usually not a very bullish sign. However, we're sitting up a little high. The range isn't bad on it though. The range is definitely something we can work with. CBio hit a high of 115 there. I think that was our PT too. Yeah, we had PT on that as well. This is weird. We're hitting PTs all over the place. AGRI back down, hits that VWAP. That would have been the re-entry point. I kind of missed it. I think it's a little too high for me to jump in now. I think I'm going to leave it, but that was the re-entry point on that. CNCE goes for it, actually hits that $5 mark. So we are breaking out of that tight range. Looking good there. GovX shoots all the way up to $2.02. Looking very bullish. We're coming back down. I think this is going to be a potential re-entry on GovX. We're looking at maybe a $1.90 entry. We're going to aim for 210 on it and then a $1.85 stop. I don't feel good about that, but I'm gonna go for it anyway. I'd like to have that stop below that 200 EMA, but I don't know. We'll see. This could be fine. If we start to head back up, it could be fine. It just feels a little extra risky to me than it really should be, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. C-Buy with a nasty drop. So if you didn't take PT at that 115 mark, you're now hitting a stop. We should see a consolidation around $1 here. Might take a bounce off that. If it doesn't take a bounce off $1, we're looking to see it take a bounce off that 0.98. So VWAP line. AGRI continues its fall. So we actually, maybe it was a good thing we didn't get that entry because it looks like it's starting to break down a little bit. Bottom band is curling up, which is a good sign. We might see this start to move back up. Top band's curling down, so we've got less pressure building. MACD is negative for the first time today, so well since since market open. So that's also not a great sign. GovX did hit a high at 204 there. We're looking for 210. It's pretty high up there. I'd say if we hit 204, 205, you could probably start taking profits around that level, and then just to be safe. So CNCE is looking good. We'll look for another bounce off that 200 EMA. AGRI is coming back. C-Bio continues its drop. We're not quite at that dollar mark yet. AGRI's range 335, 325. We could be looking at a 10-cent PT here. Maybe. 204 on GovX. This is where we want to start scaling out. Scaling out of GovX around 204. I'm going to take majority out here. I'm going to leave a little bit of a runner, but I am going to take most of it out because that top band is actually coming in pretty tight. And I really don't know if we're going to push through that, so I don't want to risk too much on that. Okay. CNCE still seeing around $5. We want to see that back at VWAP. AGRI kind of struggling. This could be good, but that MACD being bearish is really just a bad sign. I don't really want to jump in on that quite yet. C-Bio here could be another potential play. That band on the bottom is coming in pretty tight, so I do think this could start to move up. Again, we'll enter with a tight stop. Looking to get in at 104. I'd like to hit 110 and then a 102 stop. Where's the bottom of 102? Basically, oh. God, this is hard. Okay, there we go. So that's basically what we're looking at for a stop on C-Bio. I don't like playing this price range because your stop has to be so close. AGRI takes a very nasty drop. Not something I'm willing to play off of. We're still not really at a support area. So I'm not too keen on that. GovX back up, looking like it might break through that resistance line, and if it does, we could definitely see that 210. C-Bio's doing what GovX did last week? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, AGRI. This stock has been around for a long time with a lot of buyers and sellers pushing it around, so I don't know. I still think it could potentially come back from this pretty hard. We are stopping out on C-Bio here. So we should have waited for a better entry, but didn't want to risk missing out on such a big bounce potential here all the way up to 116. We could have definitely gotten up there. So we'll have to replan an entry here. I still think around that dollar mark we might see support, maybe 101. Honestly, if we gave this enough room, we could probably make it work, but it just feels kind of risky to give it, because we'd be looking, if we got in at $1 2, we'd be looking at setting a stop loss at 0.98, so, or at least, yeah, probably 0.97, which isn't terrible. It's only 4 or 5%, but that still seems like a huge, huge drop. We are down on TNXP here. We're close to that VWAP line. That could be an entry point. We are seeing a little bit of spotty price action though. Volume's dropping, and we are in fact breaking bearish on that MACD. So I think we're going to leave this one alone for now. Take a look at everything else. Veru hasn't actually really moved all that much. We haven't seen much of a move here. So even with all that volume kicking up, we're not really seeing it move too much, which is kind of a problem. CNCE did actually come back down close to that 200 EMA for a bounce. We didn't really get a chance to jump in on that. It looks like it was probably a pretty quick bounce. GovX at that 205 area here. We might see that 210 here. We are breaking through that resistance now. 207, I think, was the high there. Yeah, we might see it. Looks like it's getting rejected, though. Yeah, not looking good there. Okay, so CBio's at $1 here. And if there was ever going to be a play on CBio, it's going to be at that VWAP line. So we're going to go CBio, $1. We're going to go for a 110 PT, which is a huge PT, and then a 0.98 stop loss. Yeah, you know what? Let's give it 0.97. We'll give it the 3 cents it needs. Okay, that's about as close as I'm going to get, I think. 0.9699. It's going to annoy me that we're like 0.001 off or whatever, but that's okay. Looking like a half decent bounce already. Can never tell with these like actual penny stocks though. Something that looks like it could be bullish could definitely not be. All right, so we did see a nasty drop in CNCE. I do think that this is going to be another potential, so we're going to jump in on CNCE. 470-ish. We're going to go for 510 on it, and then a 460 stop. So we're using the same stop. Anywhere between, 470 and 475 is probably an okay entry. Maybe even 480. If you get 480, you might want to raise that stop a little bit, though. I wouldn't say you'd want a 20-cent stop on us by any means. Especially seeing how we have seen these long knives down, you definitely don't want to be stuck on one of those. Okay. GovX not really breaking out much further. I would assume at this point that if it doesn't break out on this candle or potentially the next one, we're going to see a knife down. We don't have enough pressure building, so I think it's time to exit the rest of the position on GovX. CNCE down to entry points, so here's our entry, 470. Now we're hoping that it stops here and moves back up. We are bearish on that MACD right now, so this is the point where it's a little sketchy, but I think we're going to be okay. I mean, it's held around this price range before. The closest we've come is 466. I'd say if we break 466, it's probably not looking great, but so far so good. CBio broke down a little bit there. We did see a high of 103. It's coming back a little bit here. 103 again. Lots of bullish pressure. We're seeing that MACD start to curl up. That's what we want to see. Maybe we see 110 pretty easily here. That would be pretty dreamy. CNCE back up to 480. GovX looks like it did take that nasty drop we were talking about down to VWAP. I do think it could go lower. Here we go. We're hitting that 192 level. There's support here. I don't think it's going to be enough. I think we're, yeah, going to fall through. I feel like I'm calling it real time here. So we're going to see how far down this goes. Probably back down to this 200 EMA, hopefully. And then we can potentially take another play off it with a tight stop loss. CBio up to 104 here, looking good. Chances of hitting a stop loss right now look pretty slim. GovX looks like it's holding around this area. There's not really too much support here. We're seeing a little bit of support at that 190 mark. That's about it. Might curl up. We could see a 190 trade to 205, but I still think it's a little risky. CNCE knifed us out. Yep, that is a stop. We'll see if this continues down. I would assume it's going to continue down now because we have broken a new low and we are bearish. So we'll see about that. Oof. It filled your stop low. 15 cents below your stop loss. Yikes. Filled at 51. Wow. That's nasty. Mine filled like a little bit lower, but it wasn't that bad. And you'd think that mine would be pretty bad, seeing as how I bought like, I think it was 47,000 shares. Nasty though, that was a 120K drop. I think GovX is looking like it's holding around this price point, so we could try a GovX trade. We're going to go for a 190-ish entry. We're going to go for a 205 PT and then a 185 stop again. Just give it about 5 cents from where you get in. Okay. CNCE does continue its drop. Looks like we lost all the pressure we had there, and it's just going to go on a massive drop here. AGRI looks like a solid bounce off that 200 EMA. This could be a potential play. However, we are just so far down from where we were. I don't even know what the PT would be. Maybe like 313. Yeah, I would have to agree with you. It's not constructive price action. We're probably going to see some pretty spotty behavior here for a little bit anyway. Did see a high of 104 on CBio. We're back down to 101. Taking profits around 104, not a bad call because that is, again, 4% profits, which isn't terrible. We'll see though. GovX shoots up. We're at 203. We can start taking profits. I think that actually hit 205. It did hit 205. Really didn't expect that to happen that fast either. And maybe I'm just off today. Because like I feel like this is moving a lot faster than it normally does. Maybe I'm just moving slower. Curious how ES is doing right now. It is Monday, that's true. A lot of optimism in the market. A lot of people trying to make their quotas. Nice, we're seeing new lows. Looks like a good day for shorting. Am I still in CBio? Currently, yeah, I am, but I'm thinking I'm going to start taking out some profits around that 304, or 104, not 304. I wish it was 304. Damn, we hit 107. Okay, definitely securing some profits around 107. GovX took a nice leap there to 207. Might see a little bit higher here. We could see that we just did see that 210, 214. Here we go. We're going on another massive tear, 214. I'm gonna take most of my profits out, leaving a small runner now. I don't even want to take this runner to stop loss. I'll probably take it back to like 196 and no lower. Or try to hit like 220 with it. CNCE still dropping. AGRI not really moving. CBio, we did see that nice spike up to 107 there. We could potentially see that 110 PT actually. It's not too far away from here. Let's see here. Veru's down to that 200 EMA. It could bounce here. We're looking at maybe 305 to or 1305 to 1330. Oh God, tired. Yeah, that's not really worth it in my opinion. I don't think that's something I want to do. GovX to 220. Yep, we hit that 220. All right, scaling out the rest. All right, so we're gonna start to scale out the rest of GovX here around that 225 mark. Looks like we hit a nice PT. We hit a nice PT here. We took some good profits on CBio. So even after that nasty stop on CNCE, we're looking okay. I think we're doing okay here. Yeah, we hit 225. Yeah, crazy. That was a crazy candle. Those are two really crazy candles. It's not every day you see a stock sitting at like $1.90 and then it goes all the way up to 225. I remember when I first started in the stock market and I saw stuff like that and my heart would like drop. I'd be like, oh my God, I just made like 20% on this. And now it's just like an everyday, it feels like an everyday occurrence. I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. Kind of miss the excitement behind it. Yeah, no kidding. We'll get there, hopefully. Or maybe the stock market will just crash and never return. Who knows? Um, AGRI is kind of a hit or miss right now. I don't know if it's gonna come back. It definitely not as high as it was, not right away. And I think that's where my problem is I can't really tell where the top is gonna be. I think you're gonna have resistance here at 317, that's for sure. Maybe 318 or 319 too, because that's where VWAP is. Um, yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. We saw a nasty drop here, so if there was an entry, you'd probably be looking to get in here at 302. I'd wait for a little bit of a drop, but I mean, you might be able to get it up to 318. GovX is still holding that high, which is pretty insane, to be honest. So we might see this actually push higher. I'm not in it anymore, so I'll be kind of sad if it does. CBio is still looking pretty good. We're hitting 108. That top band is pretty tight. 110 is looking a little out of bounds at this point. I think there's a good potential for CNC to be a short. I'd be looking to see this come back up to that 200 EMA and get rejected off it. And if it does get rejected off it, then I'd be looking to short. I don't necessarily want to make a short call in a market where I can make long calls because I know that kind of confuses some people. So I'm trying to stay away from that, but there's a potential short there. Heading towards entry land, yeah. Yeah, it's getting there. That's the kind of fall I was expecting like a candle or two ago. CBio did hit 110. There we go. All right. That was a far PT and we still hit it. That's 10%. Honestly, it's not wow, 113. Holy crap. Okay. 13%. All right, anyways. Wow, what the hell happened there? It actually halted down. That's crazy. That was a whale. There is no way. That was definitely 2.5 million shares dropped right there, right then. Definitely a whale. Could be a really solid recovery on GovX, but if this was a bull market, I would be placing an order right now to jump in the second it unhalts. However, given the current market, I'm not sure everybody would feel the same, and that's why I don't really want to do it because we would need other people to be doing it as well for this to recover. So I'm gonna just play it safe and stay out of it for a little bit here and see if it recovers a little bit first. But if I was, it's hard to say because when it unhalts, it can unhalt like anywhere, right? So you'd have to place like a stop buy order. So you could get market filled lower, you could get market filled higher. I'd be looking at a really tight stop loss from wherever I got in though. I wouldn't want it to be going much lower than this. So I'd probably like if I got in at 172, I'd be looking at a stop loss at like 160, 169, maybe 168. I'd be expecting a pretty hasty return on that. CBIOS continuing to go. I'm fully out of it now, unfortunately, but it looks like it might hit 115, which is pretty nutty. I actually can't believe we made it to that PT and then passed it. So we've made a lot of money today. We actually doubled the account today. Again, this must be pretty close to 100% today. 88%. So far we're sitting at 88%. We took a couple decent losses actually. That CNC was a pretty big loss. It was bigger than I was intending. Took somehow went from like a three not 3%. What was that? 10 cents on a $4 stock. So you're looking at like maybe a 2% stop loss to a 3.2 because of the bad fill I got. I think I filled at 255. But yeah, since we're using 100% of the account, we're up 149K. So it's looking pretty good. That brings us to nearly 300K off of a $500 start this month. Starting to get worried about position sizes though. Some of the fills are coming in a little bit slow because some of these trades like we're taking and it's like on GovX and stuff like that. I think we're looking at like 120,000 shares, which is kind of insane. So, I mean, the good thing with GovX is we're seeing a lot of volume, so it's not too much of a worry, but it's still coming in a little slow. AGRI, yeah, it's not really worth it. Yeah, I might just have to start to max out at the 50K. I kind of want to see just how far we can take it this month with the 100% of the portfolio in each trade. However, yeah, it's starting to get a little slow, and I think at this point it's could become a little detrimental. Like that CNCE, I got filled 5 cents lower than I thought I was going to on the stop, which I mean, it could have just been the stock. And it looks like other people got filled really low on it too, but I did have quite a bit to fill there. I think it was 47,000 shares. So yeah, could have just been could have been me, could have been everything. We don't really know. CBio looking like it's gonna come down. Did hit that 115 mark though. Yeah, I think it was just the stock too. We'll have to see though. The rest of the month, either we'll have to go back down to the 50% mark, or we'll have to just be a little more selective with the entries and make sure we have the volume to accompany it. Let's take a look at RDBX. RDBX is actually looking pretty good. Wow, we're back at $6. When did that happen? I feel like every day I play this stock and it's like at a dramatically different price than the last day. Like 2 days ago it was like $2, and then it was $3, and then it was like $4, and then it was back to $2, and now it's $6. Is that today or no? I guess yesterday it made this big move from $4 to 6 or 4 to 5, and then today to 6. Crazy. Yes, sorry, Friday. I wasn't kidding. I actually just don't count the weekends in my brain. Don't know why. It's just a write-off. GovX is back live. It is dropping more, so I think we're probably done with this for the day. Oh, maybe not. I think I'm still good to steer clear of this until we get at least back to that 200 EMA. Yeah, RDBX has a huge short interest. We could see another playoff of C-Bio here at some point as well. Anyways, guys, thanks for joining our live stream recap. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed it, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Take care, guys. All right, guys, thanks for joining us today. Just a quick recap on the trades we took. We took a couple on GovX that ended up turning out really nicely. We had a couple HGRIs that were not huge gainers, but we made some money off them. First couple CNCE trades were good as well. We stopped out our first CBio trade, but after that, we made it work pretty nicely for us. Our biggest gainers today were probably GovX and CBio. For the most part, just GovX. We saw some big runs on this stock today, and we took advantage of most of it, and we actually avoided the catastrophic, massive drop that it took. So, all in all, really good day. And we actually walked away today with $160,000 in profit. This month we were going for a $500 start, trying to hit the $50,000 mark. On the 18th, we hit 47,000. And then we just exponentially took off from there. We made 21K the next day, then we made 61K the next day, and then today we're astronomical change. We're up to $160,000 in profit just today alone, which puts us up to $290,000. Which is a 58,000% increase. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good starting from 500 bucks. If we can hit 500K, I'd be pretty happy with that for the month. I was a little worried in the beginning. I didn't know if we could turn $500 into $50,000, especially because the market was so slow in the beginning. We saw, the first couple days were okay. We made, 280 bucks the first day, 500 bucks the next day, 250, 500, and then after that I was like, okay, well maybe we won't hit that $50,000 mark, because you kind of have to get to a point where you can start snowballing the account hard. And then we hit a couple days where we hit like $4,000, and then we started hitting $8,000, and that was when it really started to pick up and take off. And then we had another good day, and then from there on it just kind of took off. But yeah, we'll keep you guys updated. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you guys next time.